So just breaking it apart, you have two words, right? American and Buddhism. So first, what's Buddhism? Buddhism is something that doesn't really have a nationality per se. Right? It's based on the word Buddha, meaning somebody who's awake. It doesn't say French Buddha or Jewish Buddha, right? It's just somebody who has attained that state of being awake and present in the moment. So Buddha is an awakened being. Ism means how do you get there, as far as I'm concerned. You know, some kind of method, some teaching, some way of looking at things that maybe is passed along from one person to another. Ism means like there's some kind of transmission and lineage involved. Otherwise, we will just study directly with Buddha. We don't need ism, right? The guy who was the Buddha is 2,600 years ago. So it's important that somehow there's some kind of continuity of that in terms of human beings talking to each other like we're talking and communicating with each other. So Buddhism has gone from many countries. It started in India. It's not that prominent in India anymore. What happened? You don't barely see much Buddhism in India. So from there it traveled to Tibet, China, Japan, smatterings leaking out to Europe, and now, for whatever reasons, which are, I think, interesting to look at, now it's popular in the United States to some extent. So American just means this is where the teachings are happening right now. That's all it means to me. Of course, then it gets flavored by the people's culture, right? So in Japan, Buddhism is kind of very austere and very pristine. Right? In Tibet, it's a little bit more rough-edged and, in a sense, comes from a peasant culture. People are quite hardy and, you know, for example, they might eat meat and things like that. Chinese Buddhism, you know, to a certain extent, is very hidden in the United States, but obviously China is a very important country in the development of Buddhism. So now all it means is that American people like you and me, who are born here, in these kind of bodies, are interested in learning about that. But the way I see it is Buddha is clear water. There's no real need to qualify it further than that. It either is or it isn't. Somebody either is or they're not awake. So if they have American and they happen to be pursuing that, the outer trappings might be different, but the essential quality of it is never going to be different. If you do Buddha, the essential quality is never going to be any different at all. But ism is going to change.